Welcome to the LANCave, where we're living as nerds. I'm Patrick, joined by Owen.
I got nothing. I don't know. It's right. We're back to the days where daylight savings happened. So, since I still have yet to buy a ring light, my face is nice and dark because there is light outside.
Yeah, well, hopefully we won't have to worry about that too much longer. You saw the Senate just passed a law. By the way, we don't normally talk about the Senate. We talk about gaming, nerds.
I am the Senate.
Culture, and there we go. That's so. So apparently, as long as nothing gets blocked out, looks like we'll stay on savings time starting November 2023. I think was the date on that. Which just one more setting your clocks forward, which is always the tough one, and then we're good.
And for anybody who doesn't know me, I have been adamantly opposed to time changes for the last several years, and even more so since having a child, where you have to you would think an hour is not a big deal to like adjust, but whenever you literally do the same thing every single day, because kids are all about routine, and you try and throw that off by an hour, it does not go well for a few days. And honestly, it's just a thing also where it's like the other day, just, Saturday, there's a nice like little sunlight out whenever I wake up, right? Now when I wake up, it's dark outside.
Yeah.
And I understand that that's how it's going to be with this new daylight savings bill. It's going to be, they're focusing more on keeping it light later in the day, but it's more like I got used to my son being in the morning, and then now it's dark. Even my son like goes to sit at the breakfast table. He's like, it's nighttime. And I'm like, yeah, it is nighttime because daylight savings time is dumb. So I think I probably would have rather kept the other version, whatever they call the non-daylight savings time,
standard time,
I guess. But I'll go for consistency, whatever it is.
Yeah,
I'm fine with it.
Yeah. So because we're staying on. That's why I was trying to figure out. Does that mean that we don't change next November? So like we're gonna fall back one more time and then spring forward one more time and then we're done. So
I think that's it. One more time around the clock, I guess.
Yeah. I get it from a morning perspective. It doesn't, if you're set in a routine and it's the same every day. I get it. Yeah, it gets darker, earlier or later depending on how you look at it. I'd rather have more light in the evening. But yeah, I totally get it.
I'm sure in terms of kids and stuff, I also would too.
Yeah.
I actually don't care about the evening part for the most part we're in, but as my kid starts to stay up later, I'm sure it'll be like a thing that's nice. It's more like I got used to it. But now, maybe like since we won't be falling back or screaming forward, we just go with the world, whatever the world says. Yeah. When the world says there's going to be sunlight in the evening, there's sunlight in the evening. The sun is now the controller of time.
That's just too easy, man. That's too simple. Like, to be straightforward and like not have to rework your math when you're talking to people overseas. Like, yeah, because I get used to it. It's like, okay, we're 6 hours off of GMT. Then it's like, wait, no, we're 5 hours off. So I'm glad we'll be sticking to something. I'm sticking to Elden Ring, by the way. I know we've been talking about it a lot, but yeah, I'm loving Elden Ring. You're still on the hook, if you will, or hooked to it. Have you
beat the good old second big story boss?
Yeah.
And big stupid dum that I killed on my second try.
Dude, that's cool.
I fought him. I had him. I mean, granted, I was seriously over level. I think it was like level 57. But I don't care. This is the only way I'm going to progress in this game is by being better than the game level wise and stuff. But I went in there, got him down to literally probably like 5% health, and he got me. I had like 10,000 runes sitting there. I was like, no, I'm just gonna leave him there. I'm gonna beat this guy right here and now, and that's exactly what I did. And then I went and picked up my runes. Big stupid dum just died to my faced.
Yeah.
Just threw fireballs at him over and over again.
Dude, baller move to not pick up your runes. That's usually like the first thing that I do. Get in there, make sure I don't lose the runes.
I'm just going confident.
Yeah,
I had to get cocky.
Yeah. Speaking of Elden Ring, and you're talking about Godric, I'm not saying this was like a secret or what have you, but some people were talking about George R.R. Martin, the top four, essentially the top four demigods in Elden Ring that you take down are his initials. So, and he was allegedly responsible for some of that and some of their storylines, and the lore, I guess, of the world. So, I'm assuming that he picked out the names too.
If he picked out all the names, then I have a little bone to pick with him, just in terms of the very repetitive nature. Like, I keep messing up names in the Discord, and they're like, "You mean this one?" I'm like, "Okay, there's like 4 R names and there's like 4 G names.
Yeah,
like, it's not my fault."
Yeah, I don't think he picked all of them, but I think that he picked the main demigods. I think that's. I don't think he picked every NPC, because he didn't write like all of it. Which, by the way, I think that'd be kind of cool for a shirt. If you see, like, you've probably seen those shirts with like just the text. Maybe it's just me. I was typing it up and I was like, that'd be a cool shirt because it's in that style. So. Yeah,
I mean, it works. I would probably do like maidenless in there, like. If I was talking about because I would want to talk about my own character somehow, even though it's something about tarnished maidenless. There's got to be like a word that you can build in there. I'm about done with just being in the first area. I've left the first area several times already to go get gear that I don't have any business having. / I don't even have the stats to use. Both of the items that I specifically like sought out, I can't even use them, and I don't know when I'm going to ever be able to use them, but I just wanted them in my inventory, especially the overpowered sword that everybody has. I can't use that sword. It's just there. Am I ever going to use it? Probably not, because prophets start out as big dum-dums. They like I tried to figure the stat line out, right? Whenever I'm trying to like headcanon the meta, like, what's my story? What's my person's story, right? So a prophet starting int stat intelligence is 7.
Yeah.
So I was like, what am I just like a god? Am I like a God-fearing dum-dum where it's like I'm just all about the faith, and there's no wisdom behind that faith? It's just my intelligence that or it's just my faith that leads me.
I mean, maybe faith is the wisdom, like in D&D, where intelligence is, more for your sorcerers and stuff, and your.
I'm sure that's what it is, but it was just my own headcanon of like my character is so devout. She is just dumb. Like she's dumbly devout, and so I started with 7 int. I've been putting some points into int, and I don't even really know if I should be. But I found some like holy spells that need like 13, and I was like, okay, maybe I can get up to 13. I'm not going to get up to 24 for that sword, but I would like to use these kind of cool spells that are faith based. And then I found out the dragon ones are faith arcane based. It sucks.
Okay, yeah. Let's say like.
So I'm probably going to go with the faith ones.
Yeah, faith. Oh yeah, that makes sense. I haven't looked at faith end versus faith arcane. Arcane just does like item discovery, and like it doesn't improve your like damage unless I guess it's a scaling weapon.
It's scale. So the dragon spells that you get, so you turn in dragon hearts. Have you done that?
Mm-hmm. I haven't done that yet. That's at the little island, right?
Yeah. So Dragon Island, you turn in your dragon hearts and you get dragon spells, and they're supposedly pretty good, but they are faith arcane spells, and so they're primarily faith, but they have some arcane needed. I also don't have enough arcane for those. I'm buying them just because there's nothing else to do with dragon hearts. So
yeah.
But there's these other spells that you get at at the round table that are Faith Int, and they seem more aligned with like kind of again like the headcanon for the type of. I'm trying to just go with like this faith warrior, this holy warrior,
Sure.
that throws fireballs at Godric's stupid face. Like that. That's like what I'm thinking in my head. So I need to get up to at least 13 to use one of them and watch it be a crappy spell. I haven't even tried. I haven't even like looked it up yet. I'm just kind of experimenting as I go, and then hopefully eventually I can respec if I mess it all up.
13 is not bad. I mean, like I've got a sword. I think that I need 24, 28 int to use, and I don't know yet if I'm going to be using intelligence. Like I've thought about doing what's referred to as like a quality build, so strength dex. But I don't know. I like the katanas. I may stick with them. I don't know. I'm not set on that right now, but gotta. I mean, there's a lot of choices, and I just gotta find that and kind of commit to it.
So I'll probably head up to Liurnia in the next couple days and start messing around up there. Last night I literally just went on a like minor boss killing spree. I killed a couple trees, went into some caves that I had marked 10 or 15 hours ago, destroyed those things. My scythe is just dealing damage with its 27 faith and B scaling on it.
Nice.
So.
Nice. Yeah,
that's the way I have to play this game. I know at some point there will be a wall where, because I just know that no matter what you do, even with like 60 vigor, there's some bosses that'll one shot you.
Yeah.
But for now, that's where I am.
Yeah, I mean, and the ones that do one shot you, hopefully they're, I don't know, it's more pattern based. But yeah, it's cool. It's cool you're going through it. You planning on watching Moon Knight?
I don't know. I will probably at least try it. The trailer looked really cool. I will give it that much. I don't know if I really want to, like, similar to whenever I watched Legion.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of just like mental health stuff that kind of goes into that, and not that that's like too triggering for me, but it can be as somebody who deals with some of his own issues, and so it depends on how that's kind of done in the show, and if I can like handle it. But I'm definitely gonna try it. I like that dude. I couldn't tell you his actual name, but from Rogue One, he's a cool actor. Yeah, there you go. So, as everything, Disney Plus is like one of the best streaming services to have. So I will absolutely try it. One thing that you didn't put on here, did you catch the trailer for Miss Marvel?
I did. Actually, I don't know why I didn't put it on the list here, but
Miss Marvel looks good. It looks really good. I'm excited about that one. It's definitely targeting kind of like a teen hero thing, which is what Kamala is, which makes sense. But that trailer just came out yesterday, so just good content. Obi-Wan coming out in 2 months. Just keep it rolling, Disney.
Exactly. So
that Panda movie wasn't bad.
Dude, I liked it. I really liked Turning Red. I think some people were debating whether or not I don't know why that flipped to that. Some people were like, talking about, is Turning Red versus Encanto, like which one's better? I'm like,
Turning Red.
They're both going to resonate with you for different reasons, but if you take the music out, then I'd say Turning Red. Like, if you take the music out of Encanto, I'd say Turning Red. But
music doesn't have as like big of a play on me, only because some of the songs I was like, like even like the most popular song in terms of Don't Talk About, I was like, this song is fine.
Yeah,
it doesn't slap or anything, but I didn't like really Encanto like that much at all. But I did see an interesting point that I like what Disney's doing recently, and I hadn't considered it, that lately they're not doing as many villains in their animated movies. The villain is like family issues or personal issues or growing up or things like. I like that direction where it's not necessarily more grounded, obviously, because both of these movies involve magic and stuff. But I like that they're trying to like teach kids more about like situational resolution and understanding, as opposed to like, there's the bad guy, you gotta beat the bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure there will be plenty of that too, because obviously we had like Frozen 1, but Frozen 2 I think was definitely less villainy and more about her needing to work through her personal stuff and like figure out like the family things.
Yeah,
I like that direction of
yeah,
what they're doing. I think that's
yeah.
pretty cool.
Luca was similar, when it comes to that.
Need to go back and watch that.
That's one that, like, I don't know, like, I think a lot of people slept on it. I liked it, and then, you know, it got eclipsed. But
yeah, I forget what was going on then. It was just kind of like out on Disney, and we started it, and it was while the kid was being crazy, and so obviously we had no idea what was going on, and then we just never went back to it.
Yeah, no, that's cool. I mean, it's another, you know, different way, different allegories, if you will, or you know, lessons, you know, that Disney's telling through these, which I think is cool. Like you said, it's less about the villains, more about like the overall story and like real things, you know, that you deal with in your life, even though there's supernatural stuff to it. And speaking of real things, a little somber thing here. I wanted to pour one out for Scott Hall. That was that hit me. Scott Hall hasn't been in very good health lately.
He almost died like 10 years ago.
Yep, drugs are bad. He wrestled with some demons, literally and metaphorically speaking. So passed away from complications during his hip surgery, is what the reports were saying. I'm assuming it's because of the toll that, you know, that he took on his body of drugs and painkillers and alcohol and everything. I don't know. Were you a Scott Hall fan?
I mean, that's more WCW, and so he was in the WWF like kind of for a very short amount of time, and that was before I was watching. So like right when he left and returned and started the NWO, that was when we were seeing like The Rock and Stone Cold and Degeneration X and stuff. So also it was on cable. WCW was on cable, and WWF, at least one, SmackDown was on regular television. I didn't have cable as a kid, so I couldn't even watch Raw, which everybody said was the better show. I could only watch SmackDown. So
they were different. They were different. Raw is there's something classic about Raw, but yeah, I get it. Yeah,
I think it's just because it was on cable, they had like a slight amount of leeway to be just a little bit edgier.
Yeah.
Even though they got to it, but yeah, no, Scott Hall, not a huge thing. I remember, I think I know Kevin Nash probably a little bit more than Hall, but you know, I know the NWO.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing that people will talk about. This is him as Razor Ramon back when he was in WWF, but like him dropping from WWF, the event, for those of you who don't know, like he and Nash left. And it's not something that like was just announced. Like their contract ended, they decided to like not renew, what have you. First of all, they all hugged like in the ring in front of fans. This is before the internet, so like, you know, it's not like it got videotaped and it's like, wait, that's out of character. You're supposed to be, you know, hate each other. And then they just show up the next week, or Scott Hall shows up the next week on WCW. So everyone was like, wait, what's... And this is before the internet, so people are like, wait, what's happening? Did Vince McMahon send these people to WCW? Like, there was this, you know... to me, it was like, it was playing with the idea, we all know it's scripted, but there was... During this time, there was a lot of stuff, like you were talking about with Scott, with Stone Cold and everything. There were moments where you're like, was that part of the script, or is he like actually like, you know, rebelling or whatever? So I thought that was something cool about that era in wrestling. I was a bigger Kevin Nash fan, but yeah, Scott Hall was pretty awesome. But yeah, on a lighter note, we get another State of Play. Hogwarts Legacy.
Yeah, I mean, let's find out. It's tomorrow. If you're listening to this, I mean, we record on Wednesdays. It's tomorrow, Thursday the 17th. So next week, I'm sure we will talk about how either bad or good it is, or looks. I'm thinking now, if they're willing to show it right now, that means we're probably going to get it late summer sometime. I said August. You said September, I think. So I'm very interested and not interested at all in the media coverage of it. I literally just want to watch the trailer and kind of decide for myself without seeing the inevitable 50 articles that have to talk about the universe's creator and whatever latest thing she said on Twitter, which I think she said something even recently that managed to tick people off. So I understand that is necessary, but at the same time, I hope that this game can kind of stand on its own merits, even though obviously there will be lots of people who want to vote for their wallet, and I absolutely encourage you to. But based on the fact that this studio, like we said, 2 years ago now, has never done anything like this, I don't have high hopes for it. But hey, even though Guerrilla was a great studio before in making Killzone, they completely pivoted to open world action RPGs from first person shooters and made a great one their first time out. And so this studio has certainly had enough time. I feel like this game's been in development for at least 4 or 5 years. So hopefully it's cool. I want it to be cool. I would love a great Harry Potter RPG, or at least a mediocre one. If this game is like a 7, I'll still be interested in playing it.
Sure. I mean, we had the Lego Harry Potter games. There was one on PS2, right? Other than the Lego Harry Potter, I think there was a PS2.
There was the movie once. Yeah, there was Chamber of Secrets, and I think there was even a Quidditch one.
I didn't play that one.
One of the Harry Potter games was actually decent. I want to say it was either Chamber of Secrets or Prisoner, in terms of just being a movie-based game. It wasn't terrible. You just kind of played through the story and fought stuff. This one, I want to know what characters are going to be there, because obviously the main 3 are not, and this takes place in the 1800s or something. So I kind of wonder where that is. I know Albus is old. I don't remember how old though.
He's 120, or I think, or maybe he's I think.
So he would be a kid. I wonder if he'll be there as a student or something. That'd be interesting.
That could be interesting. Yeah, I kind of hope that they do something. We've seen how if you create a great world, you don't have to just have your classic characters show up constantly. And Star Wars is a great example of that. In Knights of the Old Republic and other extended the legacy stuff that is Star Wars, there were some great stories there that had nothing to do with Skywalkers. There's some great stories there that don't have a tie to directly in that timeline. You can play in the world and create some cool things without having to reference what we all know. Of course, little Easter eggs are cool, but they don't have to have this is I don't know, Stephen Potter. It's Harry Potter's great grandfather. I don't need that. That you don't need to constantly throw that stuff in there. You can just have a game in this world. I'd be happy with it. I think we talked about this before. Rowling's gonna, if you want to vote with your dollar from a principle standpoint, Rowling's already made her money off this. So it's your choice whether or not you want to buy it and separate the world from its creator from whatever, like I said, whatever principle standpoint you have. That's, you do you.
You could buy it used and support GameStop, even though they don't have a business plan for recovering their company. But I thought this story was hilarious. I mean, to be fair, this story actually happened a year ago. So Reggie Fils-Aimé, former CEO of Nintendo of America, president of Nintendo of America, leaves in 2019. In 2020, he joins the GameStop board of directors. he leaves in 2021 after like barely a year, if that, and nobody really knew why. And then I saw this article pop up, and apparently he was in a board meeting and he wanted to know the strategy for how GameStop was going to turn it around, and they didn't want to tell him the strategy. They like, I was like, the board of you don't want to tell the board of the directors, which would also, in my opinion, then go down to stockholders. That tells me they didn't want to put it in writing for the stockholders, so that the stockholders would then vote with their wallet as they always do. But leadership did not want to articulate a strategy, and their reasoning is the most hilarious. They didn't want it to be stolen, and I immediately laughed out loud sitting in my chair at that, because I was like, you, one of the worst managed companies of the last 10 years in terms of the industry that we care about. There's lots of other poorly mismanaged companies, but very famously mismanaged company are afraid your strategy is going to get stolen by who else is even in the used video game market. Like, there's local stores, like there's shops and stuff, but those are shops. That's like a comic book shop where that person decided that they have a passion and they're going to be like basically a little, they're going to use their own money, buy games, and they're going to sell games on their own dollar.
Sure.
But who are you afraid of stealing your sorry used game strategy? I don't understand.
So, I mean, we've got some local places around here that that do used games, and they go more retro. They go, everything from recent to very retro.
Sure.
GameStop doesn't. By the way, when I read this, did you think of the that bit with Will Arnett in The Office? Because that's the first thing that I thought of when they're interviewing him. So when they're interviewing for a new boss because Michael's left, and Will Arnett is interviewing, and he said he's 3-step plan, and they're like, okay, well, go ahead and tell us what the plan is. Like, I'm not gonna tell you what the plan is, hire me, you get the plan. I had to think about
which one was Will Arnett.
Sorry. So you hire me, you get the plan. Like, well, can you tell us part of it? Okay, I'll tell you the part B of the second part or whatever. Like they're already in on it. I think when they mentioned that, my curiosity there is like, when was that meeting? I didn't see the date or around when it was.
I mean, he left last year, so it was before that.
Did he leave? I have to look at the dates on it. Did he leave after the GameStop stock rise? Because I thought about that being a possibility. Like, what if he left after that, and this meeting was during that time? Their plan may have been very nebulous, more of like, let's figure out how long this is going to go before the stock crashes again, which is still way overvalued. I think it's like $85 or something like that.
It looks like that was going on in April and June, like April and May, I guess. He left in June, so like it was probably going on during that. So it's like, hey, we just got this big infusion of cash. What are you gonna do with it?
I'm like, I don't know, like, because if that was around that time, that may have been a very like important question of like, we got a huge infusion of cash, and we don't know how long it's going to last. How long are we going to be valued this high? We're overvalued. Everyone knows it. What do you do? And maybe, I don't know if that's when it was, or if this is how leadership just functioned. They've had different strategies, but to me, they haven't had a good business strategy for a long time. It's an old business model that I don't think works anymore. It's kind of what it boils down to. So but so good on Reggie for having a backbone. We joke about him and his jovial self because he's a caricature and he makes fun of himself. So he gets it. But yeah, it shows he didn't want to just sit there and coast. Like, he actually wants to get some stuff done, which I can appreciate. Like, if you're going to be hired to do something at that level, then you want to actually be able to make things happen. So Yeah, respect on that.
I wonder if that one dude ever sold there was the big Reddit guy who, like, it was his idea, and he bought something like 50,000 worth of shares, like $50,000 worth of shares, and like a bunch of options and stuff.
Yeah.
And then that's when it went down. I wonder if he actually ever sold it and made his bag.
Yeah, I didn't.
To look into
I didn't
that.
see. Yeah, I didn't see. I mean, I know that there was a story that, like, I don't remember like all the details on, but like it would be kind of scummy if it like rose and he sold everything like when it spiked, because that would kind of go against the whole idea of what the principle of the thing was to was to, I forget if it's technically you're squeezing the investors who were speculating against GameStop, because that was the idea, was you want to buy it and hold it so that way they're uh, essentially their futures, right? Their futures or what have you, and speculation.
I know it's all
like
about gambling, basically.
Yeah, basically, yeah, they're gambling. The stock market investor, what is it? The hedge funds were like, we're going to bet against GameStop, and this guy and other people were like, no, we don't like that you're playing with everybody. Not just because it's GameStop, but manipulating the system like that, and they drained them of billions of dollars, which I think is hilarious, because it's gambling. It's gambling on other people's future and that, which I don't like it at that level. Yeah. Did by the way, have you used xCloud? Because I tried it and I haven't. Yeah, same. Apparently,
I mean, I don't leave the house, and I can do remote play, and so I always just end up doing remote play.
Yeah, same here. I should have tried it. I should have like set it up and tried it on my recent trip. I'll probably do it on my next one. But yeah, apparently we had some improvements in when it comes to the iPhone, at least, and was it iPad that we have in performance, which I thought was
iOS devices, so iPhone and iPad. I mean, technically, iPad runs iPad OS, but it's the same thing.
Yeah,
kind of.
So less input latency and better video optimization, which we're getting better and better when it comes to this type of streaming gameplay. I still will prefer, and I think the hardcore gamers will prefer having it like in-house, unless something happens where the latency gets incredibly improved. When I played, I had latency issues, but with Stadia and xCloud, so I'll probably check this out. While this improvement doesn't necessarily apply to me because I'm an Android user, I'm assuming that they've had some improvements since the last time I tried it. So definitely something I need to keep my finger on the pulse of, because this is the future that they've been wanting. And heck, if you can subscribe, we've talked about this. If you can be a subscriber for xCloud and stream on your smart TV without needing a physical console, that's a literal game changer when it comes to people purchasing and playing Xbox games, because then you don't have to buy a console, you just stream it.
Yeah, and what you can play whenever you test it out is Tunic came out today and was launched day and date on Game Pass. Brah.
There you go.
I was going to buy the game anyway, and then sorry, Tunic, I can't now. Like, I'll buy it if it comes to Switch, because this game belongs on my SWOLED, is really where it should be played. So what I was actually planning on doing, because I have a problem where if I drop a game, it's hard for me to come back. So I don't actually intend to start Tunic necessarily, but what I did and am actually doing right now, I'm charging my phone, because I figured later tonight I could do some remote play and check out Tunic, the new top-down isometric Zelda-like game that I think is sitting at like an 86 on OpenCritic. So very, very awesome for that indie dev team. Got that queued up. It's only like a 3 gig download. So there's your test though if you want to test something out on xCloud.
Yeah, I guess I can do
Look at this cute fox, man. Look at this guy. Look at this guy running around. Just
fixing this
picture in picture.
Fixing this live here. Yeah, I don't know what happened there. My bad. I was grabbing the wrong
That's cool.
thing.
You could zoom it in. But this game looks cute as crap, but it's also apparently not as easy as you may think it is. So I was happy to see that. And again, I was going to buy it. I wasn't going to buy it today because I got Final Fantasy Origins in 2 days early. So I have my physical copy early access that I'm not even going to open it right now.
Yeah.
Because what I expected to happen before was like I would beat Horizon or be close to it and then roll that into Final Fantasy Origin, and then Elden Ring came out and I'm 30 hours deep on Elden Ring. So I don't know when I'm going to get to that.
Yeah, I've got to see when I'm getting mine, because I've been getting mine late. I pre-ordered this because I wanted to get that Steelbook too. So I pre-ordered it from Best Buy. That's what you did, right?
I did, yeah. My Steelbook has not sent yet.
Gotcha.
Just the game.
Gotcha. I just realized I've got mine for an in-store pickup. I selected that. I don't know. I think I selected it that way because I didn't expect, I didn't care about getting it early or whatever, so I'll pick it up this weekend. So I'll get them together at least, because I got Elden Ring, what was it? I think I got Elden Ring the Tuesday after the game came out. And then I got
mine on Sunday, I think.
Yeah, I got mine Tuesday after the game came out, and then I got the Steelbook on Friday after the game came out.
I got the Steelbook before the game. So I just had the Steelbook sitting there. It's still sitting there. It's a good year for Steelbook so far, y'all. If you guys are into the Best Buy Steelbooks and then otherwise, Final Fantasy Origins, that one just looked cool. Same thing with Elden Ring. I was like, I'm gonna buy this because it has a dope thing. It turns out it's one of the best games ever. But it's a good year for Steelbooks. The Horizon Steelbook is also excellent. Apparently, dude, somebody showed me a picture. There was a Final Fantasy VII Intergrade Steelbook that was GameStop only and had a very small amount. Man, I was so mad that I didn't know about that. I would have bought that game for a third time because it is a sexy looking Steelbook. It's a weird new love that if you put your game in a Steelbook and I'm even mildly interested in it, you might get my money just for the heck of it. I bought the Halo Steelbook this last year.
Yeah.
I got the Guardians of the Galaxy Steelbook. I got... Yeah, my Steelbook collection is slowly growing. Oh, I have the Metroid. I bought Metroid Prime physically because it was a Steelbook. Are you looking it up?
Yeah, I'm trying to keep... There we go. I was looking up because I didn't realize they had a Steelbook on it. I think is it this one here?
Yeah, dude. Look how good that is.
Yeah.
That looks so good. I'm so mad that I didn't know about it.
Yeah.
It's on eBay and where the people are selling the Steelbook and not the game, and I'm still tempted to buy it.
How much is it selling for? I mean...
too much, dude. I mean, like, the price of the game, like $50-$60.
Yeah. I can't do
If I could get it for half, like if I could get it for like 30, I probably would do it. But
yeah, I'm in a similar situation with a pop vinyl that I've got my Jason Voorhees, my Pinhead here. I've got a Leatherface that should be here soon, but apparently there was a limited edition Leatherface with the Pretty Woman mask that came out, which is the end of the first movie. That one came out at, I think, Hot Topic, and it was a limited edition, and they're selling... I've seen them between $75 and like $150. And I'm sure there's pop vinyls that are going for way more than that, but I couldn't stomach spending that much money. And I think the $75 one was open box too. So I'm like, I'm good. I can't justify that. I'm a fan, but not... Yeah, limited edition sounds great until you didn't realize that that it even came out. So
right,
yeah, but
don't blame you.
Maybe if the price goes down, I'll probably buy it. Speaking of possibly buying something. What do you think about DrDisrespect and his NFTs? Did you hear about this?
Briefly, I saw what he's doing. It doesn't bother me necessarily. It's interesting. I think that he's trying to be smart about it in terms of not calling it an NFT. Like, he's literally just speaking about owning an item from this game that his studio is, quote, making. I looked at Midnight Society, which is the name of this developer that he created.
Yeah.
They have a job posting for like everything, and so I have to like, I'm still trying to, I wish we knew more about the game to see kind of like, is this game ever going to come out? And so for right now, he's giving away this thing where if you sign up, you get a NFT skin, which was like a head. I think it was like a mask like that goes around this like skull or something. Yeah. So for right now, it doesn't bother me. NFTs in general like don't necessarily bother me. I think that they're scummy for a lot of reasons, but I think video games is actually an application of them where it could make sense. In terms of games where people sell and buy the stuff already, like CSGO is famous for being able to buy and sell skins. Like, is that not an NFT? Like those skins, if you can sell them at a thing, is that like not a version of an NFT before NFTs were kind of a thing?
I mean, well, you don't have the only one of that skin though, because it's just like, oh, I've got this skin that makes me look like it's got like tiger stripes or whatever. With NFTs,
well, in this case, you're the people don't either.
Person. Well, in this case, the idea of the NFT is everyone who has one only has their individual one. Whether that thing looks pretty much the same or exactly the same, you're basically tied. It's tied to you and your account. You could sell whatever, like however they want to do that, but they're finite and they're tied to your account as opposed. And theoretically, they could all be different. Like you could have every single skin. Like you could be the only one who has that skin. Which we've only seen, what is it? Ubisoft is doing that like with a helmet. The helmet looks exactly the same, except the number on the helmet is different.
Yeah, which I think is cool in terms of a unique identifier. Where it's like if you wanted to buy your favorite number or something like that. Like if I wanted to buy number 42. So I actually think that there's some sense to putting it in games because there's already marketplaces for this. Like if you look at the biggest place that I could see where I'm surprised that it hasn't happened yet is things like EA with Madden and FIFA and now MLB The Show, where there's the Diamond Dynasty. There's I'm trying to think of what FIFA and Madden's are called, but basically, if you didn't know, you could go online and there's like this card pack version, right, where you build your team out of packs.
Yeah, and
so it's not a team that. You're not just the Dallas Cowboys. You're a team that has built its players. So you could have Troy Aikman from the 90s, and you could have, I'm trying to think of somebody he could throw to now. You could have Devontae Adams from right now, and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
Like, I wonder when that's going to be a thing where there's like, maybe there's 1,000 Tom Brady's from his best statistical year.
Yeah.
There's 1,000 Peyton Mannings from his. Yeah. There's 10,000 Peyton Mannings from his year at the Broncos where he threw 50 touchdowns and like had one of his the best comeback years ever type things. I wonder if that's ever going to be a thing, and it doesn't necessarily bother me if it is. I think that it's definitely dirty sounding right now. It's not cool to be associated with NFTs, and outside of video games, like what it's doing to the art world right now is not good.
Yeah.
That's where it's nasty. That's where you start to see a lot of gross things going on. I think ownership is cool in some capacity, but I do think that it can be easily abused. But in terms of like video games and video game assets, if the company is like, hey, we're going to make 1,000 masks, or we're going to make 1 million masks. Watch it be like 1 million or something. And you can get it doing this special event, and then it's yours. Yeah. And if you want to own it, cool. If you just want to get rid of it, and because you already got the accomplishment of getting the mask, I don't hate it. I don't hate it.
Yeah.
it really depends on where's the scumbag level is what it comes down to.
Yeah, I agree. I think that
I just went on a really long rant on that, but I've never actually gotten to like talk about NFTs.
Well, like the idea of the blockchain it's a great idea if you understand how blockchain works. To me, it's a question
which nobody
of
does.
I understand it the same way that I understand quantum physics, which is I understand it enough, and as soon as if I start talking to someone who really knows about it, I'm going to crumble. But I understand it enough to know the volatility, but also the fact that I don't think we've got a good mechanism at which this is actually viable when it comes to buying a finite, like you mentioned, art. That makes perfect sense from an art standpoint to have to say, I have the ownership of like this, this image. It's like owning the Mona Lisa, but you're owning it digitally. But then of course the question of like, but I can copy paste or I can screenshot. So the ability to essentially have this be something viable and actually make money for the average person, I don't think we've hit that yet. Like gasoline and refined oil or crude oil versus refined oil than gasoline. Like, I don't know how long that was before we created the like a car, but like I'd say like that's a good analogy of like, we're gonna have this for a while. People are gonna try to figure out what to do with it, and something's gonna take off. I don't know. I think that to me, I looked at this as like, if you're getting this this beta access, what have you, and like you're basically paying to support Doc and support his game, it's no different than a Kickstarter or anything like that to me. Everyone was talking about like, oh, it's dirty because it's an NFT. You're getting early access to the game.
Yeah, it's $50 to join like the community that gets supposedly like a say in the game. I think he also did like a giveaway as well. And apparently it's supposed to be like environmentally friendly, but they're doing 10,000 at $50. So what is that? $500,000 that they're trying to earn to work on their game, which I think they already got, and so it's not even a problem. But they said that the whole idea behind this game is that it's supposed to be community focused in terms of feedback, which is somebody who follows a number of online games. I don't actually play that many, but I still watch some of my favorite Twitch streamers that, even though I don't play the game that they're playing, I just enjoy watching them.
Yeah.
And you see how little a company listens to your feedback. That's been a big thing for a long time. And so in a way, I respect what he's trying to do. We haven't seen anything of the game yet or a build, and so that's where there's definitely like some questionable whatever. But like for $50, it's like, are you willing to burn $50? And I've definitely burnt $50 on stupid things before. So I don't know. As long as it's like they said, environmentally friendly, I can't care. Like, it's really hard for me to care. Like, and even with the environmentally unfriendly, there's even that line where I think it's dumb. But I don't think video game NFTs are necessarily the ones to be mad at. All you have to do is not play that game. I think that artists, like ones related to people just straight up jacking your art and making it this token that they now somehow own that's related to your art. Like,
like,
I think that like
it's the first person who did it. Yeah.
There's some stuff in there that doesn't make sense either. Like people buying like the NFT to the Rick Ross YouTube video. I don't know how you do that when you don't like it doesn't make any sense, but it's something that people are still doing, and that's where it's gross. But for video games, I actually don't think it's dumb. I just don't have to play that game if I don't want to.
Yeah, no, I agree. And to me, I like the idea of like, okay, this is tied to me. I like the idea of, like you mentioned, CSGO has had this forever where I can, if I got an item that's unique or whatever and rare, I can sell it or trade it or whatever. Like, I like that ability. Magic the Gathering cards. If I have a bunch of card that I'm never going to use, I'll trade it with somebody who, wants to complete their collection or whatever. I like that aspect of it. I like the idea if there's a finite amount, like you mentioned, that would be cool. Like there's a finite amount like I said, like I mentioned, Magic the Gathering cards. So if you're buying a rare versus an ultra, versus mythic or whatever, like there's only X amount of those in the world. I like that aspect when it comes to digital stuff, but yeah, it can be scummy when it comes to other stuff. I think I heard Snoop was like trying to get into the NFTs. I don't know.
Snoop. Snoop just joined FaZe Clan, so
I knew it was tied to Metaverse, but I didn't know what all he was doing. Yeah,
Snoop trying to make money. I mean, that's what people are trying to do, and it's like, do I hate it? I mean, whatever. I just don't buy it. Like that's the thing. As long as you're not screwing over other people with it, and in terms of things like an item like that, where again, if a company wants to make like a finite amount of a cool helmet or something, I think that's fine. It doesn't bother me, especially in games where it's just a skin, which is what I've seen for most things. Like if it was something where there was like a raid boss on an MMO like Final Fantasy 14 and you were like really grinding for this stuff, and literally there's just like a finite amount of like a weapon that you could get, like do you still get to be the best? Like can you still get the best weapon, or did you have to get in that first million and get one of those million drops? Like if there was a thing where literally somebody's better than you in terms of like stats wise because they paid to be better, that's different. But if it's like a thing where it just does not matter, and it's like, this is a cool helmet for a first person shooter where you're literally never going to see, and people are really just going to see you, and you don't get to appreciate it, and you want to spend money on that? Okay. What's that?
Like you said, if you're going to spend money on it, like everyone's got their thing, like their hobby that, some people look at all my amiibos and my pop vinyls and whatever, and they're like, wow, you spent money on that. That's not very much in comparison to a lot of people, and it's not a lot in comparison to like I've got people that I know who, I guess pre-COVID would go to like what I would say is a considerable amount of concerts and or football games or what have you. Like you're spending your money there. So, whatever your poison is, like you said, as long as you're not doing it at the behest of someone else and stealing someone else's work, because that's just crazy. If someone creates something and someone else is just like, oh well, I copyright the thing that you created 20 years ago, like that's bonkers to me. And it's a new world, so hopefully it doesn't get to the point where it's like domains, like website domains, where it's like if you grab it and you can just sit on that domain until someone comes up and it's like, oh shoot, I need that for my company, and then you can sell it to them. Hopefully it's not something that can be predatory when it comes to stuff like that, is what I'm getting at.
I'm sure there's plenty of people that do that.
Yeah.
In terms of the domains, like it's just like those people who do what is it, the people who like go after copyrights or something like that.
Yeah, I can't remember the term for it. It's basically copyright scum or whatever it's called, where you copyright something
and then you just sue somebody.
Yeah, and I think
so that you can settle and get your money.
Yeah, I think they've made that stricter when it comes to software and some other things, to basically be like, look, you have to have made this, or because there's so many ones that are just very generic, where it's like, I copyright an app that means that they'll get someone to deliver me food, therefore I'm going to sue Uber Eats. Like you have to, it has to be something you actually created and have something substantial. It can't just be something you drew up on a napkin. So I'm happy about that, because they were doing that. It's like, oh, I had this idea in the shower, I'm going to copyright it. Maybe not. Yeah. So let us know what you think about that. Are you getting in on the NFTs? Are you do you support DrDisrespect and his and the Midnight Society? Which, by the way, I'm assuming that's a reference to Are You Afraid of the Dark?
I don't.
Maybe. Did you ever watch that?
No.
That's right. So that was SNCC. It was Nickelodeon, like Nickelodeon's Saturday night. That's right. Nickelodeon's Saturday night it was like Saturday night programming for kids that was like more mature. Like all of that was on Snick.
Like the tweens that could stay up past 8 o'clock.
Exactly. And Are You Afraid of the Dark was like scary stories for that. So it wasn't as corny as like Goosebumps. It was like a little bit more mature than Goosebumps. But the Midnight Society was the name of the group of kids that met and told each other stories. So
I mean, that would play. Like the doc's a little older than us. Let's see how old is the doc?
I was gonna guess he's like 40. I know he jokes about being the 2-time Nintendo World Champion.
19. He is exactly 40 years old, so he would have been 8 when that show came out. So that plays. That's probably exactly what it is.
It's probably a reference to that. I love that he references that he's not the Nintendo World's Champion. There's like
he's Blockbuster.
That he wasn't even that, was he? I don't think he was.
Yeah.
Like I think he claims it like as a joke, but like
that's just that's the character. He's the back-to-back 1993, 1994 Blockbuster video game champion.
And I love he's a character. I like I said, support his game if you want to. If you don't, let us know what you think about that. And other news, have you watched Moon Knight? What do you think about that? You excited about it?
Wait, is it actually airing?
Yeah,
I thought Moon Knight was like in a couple weeks.
No, it's today.
Oh.
Yeah, Moon Knight was today.
I'll probably check it out over the weekend.
Yeah, Moon Knight was today, and then Halo's next week, if I'm not mistaken.
It says March 30th. Did they like move it up? March 30th?
Hold up.
I mean, it's possible that people are reviewing it.
No.
But it could be out. Did you watch it?
People told me it was already out. What?
Huh?
Hold on.
I was like, I could have swore I saw it coming soon, but that was like a week ago.
What is out today?
I'm gonna watch this show.
I can't believe I'm thrown off over here. Like I could have sworn it was out. Some of my coworkers were talking about like watching.
It says
today.
Wednesday. It says March 30th for the first one.
Yeah,
it's only a 6-episode show. All right.
Yeah, I'm slipping. Like
I mean, unless it's just super out there, I could probably make it through 6 episodes. I will say that I forget. Were you? I mean, you're a Deep Space Nine guy. Have you ever checked out Discovery?
I watched a few episodes.
Okay.
I need to watch through that, and then we've got the new series that they're filming, right? With a
character from Picard, or not Picard. They're doing the one from
Pike, right?
Yeah, they're doing Pike, who was in Discovery.
Yeah.
And then Picard's on. I'm about done with Discovery. I'm going to finish out this season. If it doesn't end in a way that satisfies me, I'm probably going to be done watching that. But Picard season 2 started, and I'm midway through the 2nd episode of that season right now, and a longtime character showed up. I was about to be out on Picard season 2, and then at the end of the 1st episode, I was like, oh. Well, all right then. So I'm giving that a shot. But Discovery, I was telling a friend, and you, as a lover of Deep Space Nine, you understand this. Where the thing that's been lost in Discovery is that they don't have any of those like character building episodes. There's not the episode that literally has nothing to do with anything. Like there's not a world event or a galactic event going on. It's just like, hey. Why is Worf pissed off today? What's wrong with Worf?
Yep.
Oh, it's like some Klingon holiday or something like he would like to participate in or something like that. Yeah. Let's figure that out. They don't have any of those. It's literally just from beginning to end of season. Yeah, dude, the Chief O'Brien where he gets old episode. Anyways, where the whole thing is just. The galaxy is about to die from the beginning of the season to the end of the season. And there's just only so much of that I can do.
Yeah.
Where you know that it's going to happen. There's always a galaxy ending event, but it doesn't need to be your entire season. Like can we just watch like Julian and Chief play some darts? Like can that be a thing? Like where's our holodeck episode? There hasn't been a single holodeck episode. Like where's the
and there's the fun of like my favorite Deep Space. Like, yes, there's the Dominion arc and all that, and then you've got some quasi-serious episodes where like they had the prophecy about like the wormhole like being collapsing, where the Bajoran, I forgot his name. He was like a Bajoran like priest, but then was like kicked out because he was like pretty radical and like in regards to like they were the prophesizing of like, oh, this is going to happen. They like it was a self-contained episode of that worked really well, but it didn't drive the overall arc, but it would be something that like matters. But like you're right, the just off episodes of like my favorite were Quark episodes, and like anything with Rom, and like all of that was just great.
I was a big War fan in Deep Space Nine, like when they got captured during the war, and that's where we ran into Martok, and he's like in that battle arena and just whooping everybody. Like that was one of the Sword of Kahless with like where he goes with Ezri, and that was all awkward. I do like anything that has to do with Bashir and Chief, like that. Such a good bromance throughout the entire thing. But yeah, just these break off episodes where it's like we need to deal with, or you know, the baseball game with the Vulcans is one of the best episodes ever.
Yeah.
Would you like to sign my baseball?
It's great, and I think that also Deep Space Nine's a great example of like you can have a show that tackles serious things, but also have some great comedy in there, and like it's a perfect mix. I love Deep Space Nine.
I might need to just go watch Deep Space Nine again. That's a possibility. I got the Paramount Plus sub, or if it's still on Netflix where I can watch it without commercials.
It's still on Netflix right now. So,
okay, cool.
Or at least it was last I checked. It's all
right. So I took that an extra 10 minutes just to talk about Star Trek. But
for those of you who don't know Deep Space Nine, if you've never watched Star Trek, that's I think both of our favorites when it comes to story, when it comes to everything. So if you want to check out some Star Trek, it has some roughness, but it's totally worth it.
The first season. First season's the tough part.
See, it's rough on Next Generation too. So
yeah,
first season. So anyways, hope you guys had fun listening to us talk about some Star Trek and Star Wars. Don't check out Moon Knight because apparently I was wrong. That's coming out later, and check out Halo when that comes out. Let us know what else we got wrong.
That's soon.
Let us know what else we got wrong in the episode, and we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
I wrote it down wrong, and my coworker.
The Halo show's March 24th. So
yeah, I knew that was next.
It got a 7 from IGN. So
on Halo.
Yeah.
What's IGN rate the Resident